Well, there's no bad time for Alaska vacation, but the best time is now.
Pretty soon, Arizona temps are going to put a strain on your AC.
Now is really the best time.
You're not telling people about all the money they save?
Now.
Or how Alaskan AC will make their AC last longer?
Now.
Or the big 1-year guarantee that their AC will not break down?
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Well, Ron wants to tell you a bunch of stuff. I know. That's kind of what I told him. Okay, thanks. Oh, by the way, now.
The best time for an Alaska vacation is
now.
Schedule at alaskanac.com. Now.
Here's a sample of what people say when they find out they can save up to 40% on their favorite tobacco products at Tobacco Barn.
Wow, that's fabulous.
That's just great.
Woo-hoo. All right, yeah. That's incredible.
That's crazy.
Actually, it's not crazy, it's smart. Why would you buy tobacco products somewhere other than Tobacco Barn and pay up to 40% more? You can save up to 40% at Tobacco Barn. It'd be crazy not to. You also pay no city or state sales tax at Tobacco Barn because they're on the reservation. And you can save up to $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Could you repeat that, sir?
At Tobacco Barn, save up to 40%. Pay no city sales tax. Pay no state sales tax. And save up to $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. If you shop somewhere else, people might say you don't know whether to scratch your watch or wind your butt.
Funny guy.
Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-927-1086. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-927-1086. 800-927-1086. 800-927-1086.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, last week we did a huge deep dive into Arizona Wildcats swimming and diving, trying to get an idea of where this program is now as they look to the future. Well, the future at least was presented to us this week as Desiree Reed-Francois made her choice for the new head coach, her first head coaching hire here at the University of Arizona, and it is Ben Loers who comes to Tucson from UNLV, and we are pleased to welcome back from SwimSwam, the utmost website in terms of swim coverage here in the United States. Pleased to be joined again by Coleman Hodges, who we had on last week to do that deep dive into Arizona Wildcats swimming and diving. So, Coleman, your thoughts on Ben Loers here to U of A?
Hey, David. Once again, thanks a lot for having me. Excited to talk swimming, obviously. So Ben Loers, I think, is a great hire for Arizona in the direction that, as you mentioned, their athletic director, Desiree Reed-Francois, wants to take U of A into, especially on the swimming side. As we talked about last week, the Arizona Wildcats have a historied past on the swimming side, but for the last decade, they have not been able to match that success, and actually in 2023 and 24 had some of the worst NCAA showings in history for the program. So I think, and again, they were headed by Augie Bush, who was the son of Frank Bush, who Frank Bush led Arizona to their NCAA championships in 2008. Augie Bush has been the leader for the better part of a decade, and he was not able to get the job done as his father was. So they parted ways with him. And so I think for Desiree Reed-Francois, the new director of athletics, she wanted a very fresh start from the Bush family, from the Bush era. I think she didn't even want to go down the coaching tree, right, of the Bush family. I think she just wanted a very fresh start, and I think Ben Loers offers that. Now, it's certainly worth noting that Ben and Desiree have history together. She was the AD at UNLV from 2017 to 2021, which was 4 years of time that Ben Loers was the head coach at UNLV. So they know each other from then. She obviously trusts what Ben brings to the table, and she saw what he did at UNLV. He took them from the bottom of their conference. At UNLV, their men and women are in different conferences. He took both teams in both conferences from the bottom and led them to conference championships within 5 years. And I think especially with the University of Arizona going from the dissolving Pac-12 to now the Big 12 with a lot of other teams that don't have a ton of swimming history and certainly don't have the allure of a traditional Power 5 school, I think that Ben has a pretty good shot to do something similar, to take University of Arizona from the bottom where they are now, just in terms of top 25, top 30 swimming schools, and to bring them back up to prominence.
Coleman Hodges is joining us. He is from Swim Swam magazine. So Ben Loers, and again, this was not a name that we discussed last week when we chatted. Coleman, and you mentioned obviously the history that these two have, and that makes sense, having worked with Ben, Desiree having worked with Ben at UNLV. Why then maybe was this not a name that was on the map of potentials?
I'm honestly disappointed that it wasn't from our end, and I think this has kind of drawn a pretty obvious roadmap for us moving forward. As some of our commenters have left, it's like, okay, when a school is looking at new coaching hires now, we need to connect the dots. We need to go back and look at who's the director of athletics, where were they before, who was the head coach at that school when they were there before, right? Because I think even though Ben has had a lot of success at UNLV, he's been there for 8 years, I think we often just brush over schools, that head coaches of schools that aren't Power Fives or aren't scoring very high at NC2As, and even a third reason, Ben has not been an assistant or a head coach at a prominent Power 5 school before this, prior to his time at UNLV, of which he actually had 2 stints, an 8-year stint and then a 3-year stint. He was at Cal State East Bay in San Francisco. He was at Utah, which is a Power 5 school, but certainly not a prominent one in swimming. And then, all the way back in 2004, 2005, he was a volunteer at Cal. And so since then, since 2004, 2005, he hasn't been coaching at a prominent Power 5 program in either an assistant or a head coach role. And so I think, and even though he has had a ton of success everywhere he's gone, I think that's why he flew under our radar. I know I came on the show last time and talked about Bobby Genturo, who is now the head coach at UNCW, and that's both his alma mater, but before he was coaching at UNCW, he was the sprint coach at NC State, who is a perennial top 5 program in swimming. And so that's why we knew about him, and I think that's why Ben fell through the cracks now.
Coleman Hodges, pleased to be joined with us here today from Swim Swam magazine. Well, it's a website. I don't know if we can call it. Do you guys have a print publication, by the way?
We do. We do have a print magazine, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's both swimswam.com and Swim Swam magazine.
Okay, so I can call it a magazine and not be wrong in that respect. All right, so Ben Loers, what's he built, like you said, UNLV back up 4 straight WAC championships on the men's side, WAC champions this past year on the women's side. What is the philosophy? I know when we talked last week, you kind of mentioned that maybe somebody that is a sprint coach-based type of coach might be what we would want here. Is he that? What's he do in the pool that's allowed him to build up a program like UNLV?
Yeah, so I've actually had the pleasure of part of my job is going around the country and getting to film different swim teams' workouts. And so I've actually had the pleasure of being on deck with Ben at UNLV as well as the rest of his staff and seeing kind of how they operate and you know how they do build this team. So I mean, he's been able to produce not only conference champions on a team perspective, but he's qualified individuals for the NC2A championships in every season since 2017. He sent 2 women there just this past year in 2024. In 2023, the men's team qualified the 200 free relay for NC2As. And again, they're not placing in the top 10 as a team at NC2As, but for a non-Power 5 school to be sending people to NC2A championships every single season, as well as a relay especially, that shows you the prowess that Ben has as a coach and what the potential for what he can do at a Power 5 school, especially a well-known swimming program like Arizona. So he knows the importance of all events, but I do think he's going to focus on building the sprint side of things, especially for those relays, because relays are the easiest way to score points at the NC2A championships. And if you start scoring points at the NC2A championships, you're going to create buzz for your program. That's the quickest way to get noticed by potential recruits and potential high-level recruits that are going to come to your school and really take your program to the next level. And so Ben had a great sprint coach on his staff who they would do a lot of interesting things and kind of outside the box things. Specifically at UNLV, they would, a typical college pool is 25 yards, and they would turn their pool about once a week into a 15-yard super sprint course. And so they would do, these hyper sprints that would really hone in on speed and power. And I think that was something really creative and that probably a lot of programs mirror or mimic in one way or another just to work on that high level speed. And so I think in that regard, he really knows how to build a program and he knows how to build a program speed. I think one other notable thing about Loras is that he was also the coach of a woman named Kasia Wasik, who she swam at USC through 2016. She's a Polish native. She's been to 4 Olympic Games. And Kasia kind of retired for a short period and then came back and was living in Las Vegas because that's where her husband was working. So she approached Ben Loras at UNLV and said, hey, I think I want to make a run at swimming again. And he allowed her to train with the team as a postgraduate. And she's become one of the most prominent female swimmers in the world since then. She was a silver medalist at the last couple world championships in the 50-meter freestyle. So she's kind of had this whole second career. She's going lifetime best times. She's over 30 years old now, which is not super common for an elite level athlete in swimming. But she's having a ton of success, and she, rebuilt and revitalized her career under Ben Loras. So he not only has experience building high-level college athletes, but he can build athletes that can go to an Olympic Games or World Championships and have a very high level of success, which is another piece that can be very alluring to, again, those top-level recruits that are going to take your program to the next level.
Coleman Hodges from Swim Swam is our guest. Coleman, we got about 2 minutes here. I got 2 questions for you. I'll ask these the back-to-back. One, what's going to be the biggest adjustment for him stepping up from a mid-major to a major Division I, Power 5, as you've mentioned? And 2, how important is the club element? We've got the Tucson Fort Aquatics swim group, which is always tied to U of A athletics, shares the same facility, has had Olympic swimmers like Matt Grievers in that process. How important is that to the success of the U of A program?
Absolutely. So honestly, I think it's kind of one answer right there, right? I think the biggest adjustment to coming to this Power 5 program, specifically Arizona, and getting access to these Tucson Ford dealer club team is that you're going to have a much bigger pool to recruit from because just of the prominence, the legacy, the history of the University of Arizona swim team specifically. I think there's a much bigger alumni group that Ben will be able to lean on for support, and certainly just getting more outreach to them, being a lot more active in his communication to the community of this alumni network is going to be paramount to building this program back up, because there's a lot of support for it out there. And I'm sure there are a lot of alumni out there who want to give support to this program and see it grow back to something like what it once was. So leaning on that network, as well as leaning on, Arizona is a great swimming state at the club and high school level. And so just a lot of communication there, just opening pipelines, having conversations with these athletes who are being grown in your backyard and being developed in your backyard, who it's like, if you build a great program, it's an easy sell, to go to school in your hometown to compete for a high level or a growing program that is going to be seeing, hopefully, success in the very near future.
Coleman Hodges from Swim Swam magazine, breaking down the hire of Ben Lors as the new head coach of the Arizona swimming and diving programs. Coleman, hey, always appreciate your time, and we look forward to kind of continuing to talk to you guys about swimming as we move forward.
Sounds great. Thanks again for having me, David. It's always great being on.
He is, again, Coleman Hodges, Swim Swam magazine. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. With collisions underreported for Grande and Congress and Grande. Possible collision Grant Road and Oracle. Have a wreck reported on Campbell to the south of Fort Lowell. Naranja east of La Cañada. 22nd at I-10. Also Irvington at I-19. 68 the low, 99 tomorrow and 95 on Sunday and 95 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
We return now to Eugene Snarkle, UberTube video star, and his best friend Doug.
Eugene, what happened to just buying a new set of tires at Jack Furrier's?
Way too easy, Doug.
Yes, Eugene. Jack Furrier's makes buying tires easy. So what's up with all the rubber cement and electrical tape? And why are you putting it all over your tires?
It's basic science, Doug. This Uber hack should give me another 6 months on these old treads and make me locally world famous on UberTubes.
So you'll be risking your life and your reputation.
Yes, Doug. It's all for my UberTube fads.
Well, could you at least wait a week before you try driving up Mount Lemon?
At Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, we make buying tires easy. Our local warehouse is filled with thousands of great options, all at one low price. If you need tires for your passenger car, truck, SUV, van, 4x4, RV, boat, or UTV, call us or go online to jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Choosing the right lawyer after a car wreck is important. You need to consider the law firm's experience, results, and reputation. Lerner Rowe stands above other law firms when it comes to experience and results, helping over 150,000 people recover billions of dollars for their injuries. When it comes to reputation, we have thousands of 5-star reviews, and year after year, we have been voted best personal injury law firm in Arizona. Call us today and let us put our experience, proven results, and reputation to work for you.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535, 800-511-3535, or biglou.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2794. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-2794. That's 800-575-2794.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
The coach of the Phoenix Suns, Mike Budenholzer. Mike, come on out here and shazam for you, my friend.
The legendary Hall of Fame voice of the Phoenix Suns, Al McCoy, welcoming the new head coach of the team, Mike Budenholzer, to the desert today as the new coach was introduced. Let's hear more from Al McCoy on the new coach.
Good afternoon, everybody. I happen to be Al McCoy, and I love basketball. Right now, I welcome you to what I believe is one of the highlights of the Suns' entire history that we're going to be a part of here today. And I'm happy that you could join us. Now, my question is there anyone here other than me that remembers when Mike was taking the ball to the hoop at Holbrook High School? I know Coach Vince does. Okay. Well, all of us in this room know of the accomplishments of Mike as a coach. It's history, what he has done. He's had an amazing, amazing career. All the success that he has had certainly has been well documented, and we all know about it. And that's important, and I certainly don't want to overlook that. But to me, as I have the pleasure of introducing it to you this afternoon, is his love for basketball. And so it is a great honor for me to present to you now a coach that loves the game of basketball, the coach of the Phoenix Suns, Mike Budenholzer. Mike, come on out here, and Shazam for you, my friend. Mike, love you.
TK, I hope I'm half as eloquent and thoughtful at 91 as that gentleman is.
Let's hope so. There's a reason why he worked till almost 90 years old as a broadcaster. And I tell you, man, I've only met Al McCoy once in person, but as a young college student coming out of USC in the early 90s who was looking to get into play-by-play, I sent tapes out to a lot of different teams, NBA, Major League Baseball, and Al McCoy was one of the broadcasters who not only wrote me back a critique of my tape, but just a really nice letter about the business and everything, and I still have that, and some of the things you keep. And one of those things I kept was the letter I got from Al McCoy, probably like maybe back in the early 90s, so well over 30 years ago. Just a guy at that point who was at the heart of his career, just taking time out of his day to communicate with a young broadcaster trying to get into the business. So.
Yeah, he's always come off as a very genuine shows, right, DK? I mean, when somebody has a passion for something and then dedicates their life to the craft of it and does it above board and does all the right things and never gets in any kind of controversy or anything. And Al McCoy's always come off as such a gentleman. And, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised by that story you just told because he seems like the kind of guy that would write letters to those trying to get into that business.
Absolutely. 520-848-1290. Mike Budenholzer starts his career as the head coach of the Phoenix Suns. He's a two-time Coach of the Year, 2015, 2019. He's coached a couple of All-Star games. He's won an NBA title in 2021 with the Milwaukee Bucks. You remember that as they beat the Phoenix Suns. Before that, he coached for 5 seasons in Atlanta with the Atlanta Hawks. Had 1 year in 2015 where his Hawks won 60 games. They were the first-place team, won the Southeast Division. At that time, lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, and did that Atlanta team, and all of his Milwaukee teams went to the postseason beginning in 2019, losing in the conference finals and conference semifinals in the bubble in 2020, and then winning it all in 2021, coming from 2-0 down to beat the Phoenix Suns. Let's hear from the new head coach of your Phoenix Suns, Mike Budenholzer, about this job and his hopes for the future.
Thank you, James, and thank you, Al McCoy. Wow. I wonder just quickly, the ownership in Milwaukee and Atlanta, they trusted me. They've helped me grow while I've been with them. I'm appreciative of them. And the players in both Milwaukee and Atlanta, they're special, they're talented, and they allowed me to coach them. All these people have put me in a position. I'm grateful for my past, but they've put me in a position to be the head coach of the Phoenix Suns. And my future, wow, how excited. It's crazy. It's freaking exciting. And so as I look to the future, I want to start with a thank you to Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Phoenix Suns. His passion and commitment for winning, his passion and commitment to the players, to the organization, to the city has been off the charts. He has been beyond impressive. He's a big reason why I wanted this job, why I've targeted it, come after it. I just couldn't be more excited about working with Matt and more appreciative of him putting me in this position. James and Josh, to align with them and to partner with them. What James has done, putting together rosters that have played and competed for championships in our recent history, and the roster we have today, James has put that together. Josh's vision and energy and execution the last week is high level. Like, to work with these two guys, it's just exciting for me. And that's when you think about jobs and you figure out what you want to do. You want to align ownership, front office, and coaching. And I feel like we have an opportunity to do that here at a high level. And that's what it takes to win. So I'm incredibly appreciative of that, all those people. And I'm beyond excited about coaching the Phoenix Suns, coaching this roster, coaching these players. We feel like, as a coach And as management and players, you want to have a chance to compete for championships. And that's what we have here in Phoenix. That's what I'm excited about, is competing for championships. And no doubt it starts with our roster. It starts with Devin and Kevin and Brad, but all throughout the roster, we've got to build a team that's built with competitors, with people with high character, with unselfishness. And you go to Nurk and Grayson and all the way through the roster, we feel like we can compete for championships here in Phoenix, and that's what I'm excited about. So, the type of team we want to be, it's what James said. At the end of the day, we want to be competitors. We want to compete. That is our calling card. We want to be a team that plays unselfish. We want to be a team that stays together. And lastly, we want to be a team and players individually that are getting better every day. If we focus on what we're doing each day, that's what's going to give us our best chance to realize our potential to be a championship level team. I'm sure I'll get questions, but at the end of the day, if our focus is on what we're doing every day, that's what matters most. Talking about championships, it's kind of meaningless. At the end of the day, talk is cheap. What you do every day is powerful. And so, as I talk to our players, I talk to our ownership, our front office, everybody, what are we doing every day to be our best? And that's what's going to give us our best chance to win championships in Phoenix. So I could not be more excited. It's like mind-boggling to me, mind-blowing to think that I'm going to be the head coach of the Phoenix Suns. So I'm looking forward to questions and the future here in Phoenix.
As someone who grew up in Holbrook, listening to Al McCoy as a kid, idolizing the Suns, what does this moment mean for you to be the head coach of the Phoenix Suns?
Yeah, I didn't know Al McCoy was going to be here today, so I'm going to circle back to Al McCoy and maybe do some names and history. But I think the biggest message I want you to hear, and I would coach this team if it was on the moon. I would coach this team if it was in Alaska, if these players were in Denmark, these owners and front office. I would go anywhere to coach this team. That's the most important thing for me. I'm excited about the roster. I'm excited about everything. So at the same time, yeah, it's amazing. I don't know what the word is, surreal or wild. And to have Al kind of introduce me and to think about, Alvin Adams at the Oboes AA and Sweet D and Paul Westphal, my dad taking me in the backyard and teaching me Paul Westphal, reverse pivot into a pump fake to a step through. I mean, I could go on. I'm probably in the wrong room to do Suns trivia, but in other states in the country, I'd probably do okay. So, yeah, I'm beyond excited about this opportunity, but it's mostly about the players. It's about the organization. It's about the team, and I can't wait to get to work.
Mike Budenholzer, or as the debate was going, Budenholzer, that was happening earlier this week. I've always heard it as Budenholzer, but
I know his family's German. Yeah. I know that he has German ancestry. Northern Arizona has a lot of German immigrants came to Arizona long ago. So by that logic, Budenholzer probably sounds a little closer to, the original. However he wants to pronounce it. That's what I see at DK is like there's a lot of names like Houghton and Houghton. You know that one, right?
Yeah.
So Houghton is how we always said it here in Tucson, and then some, buddy looked up the original name of the person who then the road was named after, and they pronounced their name Houghton. So now there's this debate as to what it should be. I think as long as the person in question is not super offended by the pronunciation, I think you're okay.
All right, there you go. He sounds like he trusts the Suns front office, Matt Ishbia and company. It sounds like it's a dream job, in fact, for one Mike Budenholzer. That was our question of the day yesterday. Do you have trust in the Suns front office with Matt Ishbia already being on his second head coach? That was the question of the day. The voting on that has ended. It ended up being 57, closer than it was in the beginning. 57% of you saying no, you do not have trust in Matt Ishbia already being on his second head coach. Came in, fired Monty Williams, hired Frank Vogel, fired Frank Vogel, now hiring Mike Budenholzer. 57-43. 43, though, percent of you saying yes. What we do like is Matt makes moves. Matt's not afraid to make moves. He's aggressive. He's an aggressive owner. We'll see how that aggression plays out as his tenure as the, quote, governor, as they like to say now. I think the NBA has actually gotten rid of the term owner in both the NBA and the WNBA, and the term is now governor, as he governs this franchise into the rest of the decade of the 20s.
You know, he's coached 10 years, DK, and 6 of those they finished first in their division.
Yeah.
And the reason he was fired, maybe people don't remember the story, but that year they were 58-24. They lost to the Miami Heat in the first round, the Miami Heat that would eventually go on to the NBA Finals that season. Coach Budenholzer also lost his brother in a car crash during that series. Giannis was injured. So the question, it was pretty questionable firing for a coach who had just won Coach of the Year, 58 wins and all that stuff. So there's some firings that aren't as equal as others, I guess is what I'm saying. Because he wasn't fired for performance. I think it was more like, I mean, I guess I wasn't in those rooms. I don't know the thinking behind it. But when you have a head coach like that with that much recent success who loses their position, it was just an odd fit. And there were rumblings about, relationships with players or whatever. But again, Giannis injured. He had a bit of a personal issue, obviously, as well during that series. Just a really, really odd firing from the Bucks.
Before we go to the 5 o'clock hour, I want to update you on Arizona softball. The ladies bludgeoning Villanova right now, 9-0. This is going to be if it stays like this will be a quick day for the Wildcats. 9-0 headed to the top of the 4th. They need only to complete through 5 at bats for the Wildcats the Blue Cats from Villanova. And if they're down more than 8 runs, this game is over.
After 5, right?
A snow woman in the first for Arizona. 8 runs. Carly Scoopin, an RBI single. Blage Behringer, an RBI walk. Emily Shep, a sac fly. Taylor Beal, a 2-run double. An RBI double. Kaya Altmaier, a 2-run single. Dakota Kennedy, a 2-run home run. That was all in the first.
8 runs on 5 hits, DK. 8 runs on 5 hits in the first inning.
And then Carly Scoopin added a solo home run in the second. And that's where we stand 9-0. Arizona leading Villanova, top of the 4th. It's DK on the Sports Tip. Much more coming up at the 5 o'clock hour. We'll continue to talk about the Suns. Daryl Joyner, our guy on the Suns beat, will join us from Phoenix. He was at the press conference today. We'll get his thoughts. You're listening to Wildcats Radio, 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Freeway slowing on the westbound side of I-10 between Miracle Mile and Ruthrop. Busy travel on westbound Valencia at Campbell, some slowing at Ahoway and Mission. Collisions reported Campbell south of Fort Lowell, Naranja east of La Cañada, 22nd Street at I-10, Irvington at I-19, and also Congress and Grande. 68 the low with clear skies, 99 tomorrow, 95 on Sunday, and 95 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Primatene Mist. During an asthma attack, every second feels like an eternity. Primatene Mist works fast. It's clinically shown to open airways quickly, providing quick relief of mild symptoms of intermittent asthma. Get the #1 FDA-approved over-the-counter asthma inhaler. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. Remember when Scotty Scheffler was too boring? Remember when the best golfer on the planet was not a sexy enough topic because the guy just did not have enough going on? Well, Scotty's got plenty going on today, including an arrest, a mugshot, charges of second-degree assault of a police officer, third-degree criminal mischief, reckless driving, and disregarding traffic signals. This is seriously what went down at the PGA Championship this morning outside of Valhalla Golf Club in Louisville. What went down is one of the wildest scenes in that sport since Elin chased down Eldrick with his 9-iron. No, scratch that. One of the wildest scenes in the sport of golf since Eldrick flipped his Genesis on the way to Riv. We all know Tiger had his Sunday red. Today, Scotty tried out his Friday orange. PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million active members. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. Get in on the playoff action as you and the world's best players take the game to a new level during basketball's postseason. Download the app right now. Use the code ROAM for a first deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly. Extend the life of your engine with regular oil changes and save at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, pick up 5 quarts of O'Reilly full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $31.99. Or upgrade to a MicroGuard Select filter for just $2 more. Limit supply, available in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We return now to Eugene Snarkle, UberTube video star, and his best friend Doug.
Eugene, what happened to just buying a new set of tires at Jack Furrier's?
Way too easy, Doug.
Yes, Eugene. Jack Furrier's makes buying tires easy. So what's up with all the rubber cement and electrical tape? And why are you putting it all over your tires?
It's basic science, Doug. This Uber hack should give me another 6 months on these old treads and make me locally world famous on UberTubes.
So you'll be risking your life and your reputation.
Yes, Doug. It's all for my UberTube fans.
Well, could you at least wait a week before you try driving up Mount Lemon?
At Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, we make buying tires easy. Our local warehouse is filled with thousands of great options, all at one low price. If you need tires for your passenger car, truck, SUV, van, 4x4, RV, boat, or UTV, call us or go online to jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Hi, you know me, Scott Lehman from ScottSaysYes.com. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center.
Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Go to ScottSaysYes.com today.
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now. Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Hey guys, what are you...
Gotta take this. Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now. Thank you for... Uh-huh. Right. You don't say. Uh-huh. Now.
Hold it. What's with all the nows?
People want to know the best time for an elastification.
And you're telling them...
Hello? Now.
Well, there's no bad time for elastification, but the best time is now.
Pretty soon, Arizona temps are going to put a strain on your AC. Now is really the best time.
You're not telling people about all the money they save?
Now.
Or how Alaskan AC will make their AC last longer?
Now.
Or the big 1-year guarantee that their AC will not break down?
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Well, Ron wants to tell you a bunch of stuff. I know. That's kind of what I told him. Okay, thanks. Oh, by the way, now.
The best time for an elastification is...
now.
Schedule at AlaskanAC.com. Now.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Mount Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Villanova trying to make some noise in Fayetteville, Arkansas. They've got a couple of runners on with nobody out. The Wildcats have gone to their bullpen in this NCAA softball tournament opener. Miranda Stoddard pitched the first 3 innings, allowing just 1 hit, no runs, 2 strikeouts. And now Brooke Mannon is on, and Mannon is in a little bit of trouble. She has given up a hit and a walk to her first 2 batters, trying to work out of the jam. Arizona leading 9-0 in the top of the 4th inning. They need just get through these 3 outs here and 3 more outs to make this a run rule win and advance to the 1-0 winners bracket. Tomorrow, Aisa Silva currently warming up in the bullpen if Brooke Manning cannot get out of this jam. All right, let's talk some more Phoenix Suns. Head on up to the Valley right now. Our guy, Daryl Joyner, Phoenix radio sports reporter, was at today's press conference as Mike Budenholzer was announced as the new coach. Okay, we were sharing in the debate that had been going on this week, Daryl, if it's Mike Budenholzer or Budenholzer. How do you pronounce it?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Dave, because that was one of the questions that was asked Mike Budenholzer, as he specifically made sure that that was his pronunciation of his name. However, he said his father pronounces it differently. But for the sake of us using it on a daily basis, he said Budenholzer is the correct pronunciation.
See, that's like our family. We spell our name Kelly currently, but apparently back in the day, there was a second E in our Kelly, like is so commonly seen. And I think at some point in the early 1900s, that second E got taken out, and now it's just Kelly. So everybody has a little bit something different that they have going on with their names and their names, images, and likenesses, as we like to say. So what were your takeaways, Daryl? Mike Budenholzer. First of all, let's go back to Frank Vogel getting fired. What did you think about that last week when it transpired? Did you think that was what was going to happen here?
Well, yes. It was either he was going to get fired and or one of your big 3 would be so disillusioned that you were going to have several malcontents on that team, considering that apparently Vogel and several members of the Suns' big 3, they had some issues there, and so you can't get rid of the big 3 because you brought those guys in here with the expectations of competing for a championship, and basically you do have the foundation. This, according to the Suns, they do have the foundation of a championship team with those big 3. Now, Vogel came here with a defensive background as far as his, I guess, forte. However, the team that was assembled was not and is not a defensive-minded team.
Well, that's not his fault.
Well, that is true. However, you're not going to get rid of the owner, are you? And you're not going to get rid of the big 3. So of those 3, Vogel was the easiest one to cancel out. You're correct. The question is, that decision was made regarding Vogel. Now, mind you, Vogel was not their first choice going back, a year or so when they hired him. He was their 3rd choice. So you have to calculate these different variables into the equation. And another thing, you have to look at the way that the game is changing. I was talking about this earlier today regarding the way that this team, as well as the NBA, is constructed now. And if you're looking at the playoffs right now, everything is based upon the 3-point shot. It's the calculus is the more threes you take, the more threes hopefully you'll make, and you will basically outscore the other team if you have a team that's constructed with really good 3-point shooters. Now, Vogel, after the All-Star break, they realized that the players that the big 3 that the Suns have, they are a great mid-range shooting team. KD, Booker, Beal, great 2-point shooters, mid-range shooters. They're not known as 3-point shot shooters. And you're going up against teams, for instance, the Boston Celtics lead the league right now in attempted threes. They try they average 42 threes a game, and they make 16 a game. They're number one compared to the Suns. They're 18th in the league. They average, after increasing their number after the All-Star break, they average 32 attempts per game, and they make 12. And their percentage from three-point land is about 38%. So they're behind the eight ball right there when it comes down to making and also attempting threes. And that's something that Mike Budenholzer addressed today, as well as James Jones, the general manager. They have to attract more players that are capable of hitting that three-point shot. And also they're going to encourage whoever is left on this team to start taking more threes and making more threes. And Budenholzer said that he will concentrate on his players being more proficient in that area.
Chatting with Daryl Joyner, Phoenix radio sports reporter. Well, it goes back to one of the things we talked about last time we chatted with you prior to the playoffs even starting. Your best three-point shooter, Grayson Allen, was not healthy in the first round, so that's a big factor there. The next question is are there? I mean, three-point shooters aren't just falling off trees, and this is not a team that has a quote lot of money to spend on free agents. So where are you going to get three-point shooters to put around these three guys?
Well, there's a slight misconception regarding what the Suns are able to do. They do have a 22nd pick in the first round coming up in this year's draft. They do have a first pick in 2030, I think it's 2031, 32, that they will have available to them on draft day. Now, mind you, it's going to take a little ingenuity and some creative manipulation by the organization, but they do have those two number one picks, as well as a couple of guys on this team that do have some value if packaged with those picks. Now, mind you, they are looking for not only, some better three-point shooters, but also they are looking for a point guard as well. Budenholzer basically stated that is in the equation as far as their calculus, and they need to add a point guard. However, they need to also learn how to play without a point guard. And that's something that the Suns were not able to do on a consistent basis this year, playing without a point guard and having a lot of turnovers. So that's going to be a major priority of Budenholzer, who basically says he's going to work on first thing Monday. And he's already talked to KD, he's talked to Booker, he's talked to Beal, and they're on board. And apparently some of his practices and conversations with the players will continue on Monday, and they're going to hit the ground running, and they hope that this change of the guard will do a lot as far as just the overall mentality of the team. I mean, you've got three of the best shooters in the league. However, you need to get some players around these guys. And again, like you said, David, it's not going to be easy, but it will not be impossible.
All right, well, we'll kind of wait and see how this all plays out. The draft is coming up here in about a month or so. Maybe they can draft the three-point shooter. That would always be a great thing, but it doesn't sound like when we heard this come out of the owner's mouth himself, the draft picks are to be traded. The draft picks are to be traded so we can get established players. So maybe they may. At some point, though, is there real quick? We're running out of time, but can they? How many of these picks can they trade? Can they continue to trade first round picks? Is there a point where the NBA comes in and says, no, you can't keep trading your first round pick away?
Well, no, they only have two. But you're saying based upon the past picks that they have given up. There is some conditions in the CBA that will allow the Suns only to trade those picks on draft night.
That's right, on draft night.
On draft night. So that is a condition that does kind of restrict these teams from going all out and just trading all their number one picks. So there are some conditions that are set up that do limit the timing of these teams trading these picks.
Well, plan your draft parties then, because there could be some exciting movement come June 26th, 27th, or whenever that draft is happening. Daryl, appreciate you always. We'll have you on again real soon.
All right, Dave. Thanks a lot, man. Continued success, my friend.
All right, Daryl Joyner, Phoenix radio sports reporter, on top of the Phoenix Suns beat for us, on top of everything that's happening here in Southern Arizona. Okay, well, there you go. Shannon is now, actually not Shannon. Cricket is upside down J-Dub. See what happens sometimes? This is Friday. This is Freaky Friday. There he is. He's upside down. Can you breathe is all the blood rushing to your head there, J-Dub, being upside down like that?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm all good. Thank you for asking.
That's only people on whoa, yeah, that looks even better.
We're worried about
there.
you.
Yeah. All right, so we will just stay on me since everybody else is discombobulated, but you can hear the voices and what's happening this weekend here in Tucson.
So maybe a little shopping. The Desert Haze Market is tomorrow at Hotel Congress, 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. And then all day tomorrow, noon to 10, Rock the Swap Music Festival tomorrow at the Tanque Verde Swap Meet on Palo Verde. Tomorrow, a crawfish boil at the Fire Truck Brewing Company on Oracle. Cars and Candy tomorrow night at Candy World on Valencia. And there's free garden admission on Sunday at Tucson Botanical Gardens. And reserving tickets early is suggested, tucsonbotanical.org.
Check the trains out.
Who do they think we are? Do they think this is New Orleans? Crawfish boil? Have you ever been to a crawfish boil?
It's not. I'm like you, man.
Yeah.
I'm not huge on sea, and it seems like a lot of work.
Yeah,
for a little bit of.
Speaking from someone who grew up right next to Spino Canyon and we had access, there were a lot of crawfish growing up. That's all we ever did. So
really?
I mean, yeah, it's very synonymous with the South and Louisiana in particular. But growing up here, the waterways up there are quite a few crawfish in those waters for sure.
Outstanding. Well, Cricket, have a great weekend and let the folks know how they can get home safely.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. The westbound side of I-10, some freeway slowing between Prince and Ruthroff. Collisions reported 22nd Street near Craycroft, Campbell south of Fort Lowell, Naranjal east of La Cañada. More slowing westbound Ajo at Mission and also on westbound Valencia at Campbell. 68 the low, maybe 99 tomorrow, 95 on Sunday, and 94 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale is here. Save up to $500 on select adjustable bed sets like the all-new Temper Adapt collection with advanced pressure relief to help reduce aches and pains. Plus, get a $300 instant gift for pillows and more. Hurry into Mattress Firm today.
Paid actor portrayal.
Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. In 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected.
Ethos fast and easy online term life insurance up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Do you often worry you left the garage door open? With a LiftMaster garage door opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out.
Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates is your authorized local LiftMaster dealer. Visit KaiserGarage.com for more information.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started Wesley Financial Group to do one thing: help people get out of their timeshare nightmare. When you buy a timeshare, the timeshare company can raise your annual maintenance fees at will. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Want out of your timeshare? Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Improve visibility and save $8 instantly when you pick up a new pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Bosch Icon wiper blades have up to a 40% longer life than other premium wiper blades. The professional parts people will even install them for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Ask Sherwin-Williams and get 30% off Duration and Super Deck products May 17th through the 20th. That means 30% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 30% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
John brings his skewed sense of humor. Jeff brings tips to cut strokes off your next round. Together, it's those weekend golf guys.
More distance. I mean, that is what everybody wants. Nobody has ever showed up on my lesson tee saying, Jeff, I hit it plenty far. It's embarrassing. Nobody will play with me anymore. I drive the green. They don't say that either. Hell, I'm hitting it over the green into the pond back there.
Those weekend golf guys, the podcast, part of the Believe Network. Just search BLEAV on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports, sponsored by Allstate. The Las Vegas Aces are atop the WNBA world. Last week, the two-time defending champs visited the White House to celebrate their 2023 title run. Then on Tuesday, they started their new season with an 89-80 home victory over the Phoenix Mercury. Two-time league MVP Asia Wilson starred for the Aces with 30 points and 13 rebounds in the win. Las Vegas is led by their head coach and Basketball Hall of Famer Becky Hammon, who saw her team raise another banner on Tuesday night. And now her focus is on getting the next one.
Hopefully, the new players get to see and feel a taste of that, and it makes them hungry to have that moment, to get some hardware. So we all got to stay motivated. We all have to stay thirsty and know that we have a lot of work ahead of us. But it was definitely a special moment tonight.
With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Amber Theo Harris on Westwood One.
Some people just know the more you protect, the more you save with Allstate, because they know insurance math. Like if you protect your home and auto, Allstate can save you up to 25%. So it's like losing money if you don't bundle. Save more when you protect more. Bundle home and auto with Allstate today.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. Like 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. Switch today.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Happening this weekend in Tucson, we've got the Sugar Skulls back on the field at the Tucson Arena. It's the middle of the indoor football season. It seems like it's just gotten away from us the start of this season as we've been kind of focused on Arizona, wrapping up Arizona basketball and then Arizona baseball. But the Sugar Skulls in the IFL once again this summer. We're pleased to be joined by wide receiver Jalen Marshall from the Sugar Skulls. And Jalen, you guys got a huge game this weekend against the undefeated team from Vegas. It's been tough rolling so far this season, and it doesn't get any easier this weekend.
No, it doesn't, man. We're looking forward to it being the underdogs this week, man, and I think we can go in there and kind of shock the league. That's the beauty of being an underdog.
Now, this is your first year playing indoors. What kind of brought you to the indoor side of this football game that you've been playing all your life?
Man, I kind of took some time off last year and had to kind of come to Jesus moment with myself and said I had a little bit more left in the tank. And I have kind of a special relationship with Coach Back, and he reached out to me and asked me to come out here and try to win a championship for one more go around.
What is the nature of that relationship? How far do you and Coach Back go back?
We go back years and years. We're actually kind of from the same little community in Ohio. His younger brother is, me and I are the same age, and we spent a lot of time together, back in the day. So we kind of share that relationship.
So how did he kind of pitch this to you? Or I would imagine, did he reach out to you? Did you reach out to him? Kind of like you said, you were kind of having that itch again. And what did he tell you about indoor football and what you might expect and the role you could potentially play on a team?
His resume kind of spoke for itself, winning 5 championships in the indoor football league. And, I wanted to kind of end my career with a championship. And, that's what kind of sold me, come out here, do what you love to do, and, hopefully win a championship together with, with some guys that I'm familiar with. That was kind of the selling pitch, and I took it and ran with it.
And there are some similarities. You've played a lot of outdoor ball. Obviously, played in college at Ohio State University, and then played in the Alliance here on the state side. Played in Canada, particularly Canada. So you were kind of used to that running to the line as the play kind of begins type philosophy, because that's kind of something that's kind of out of the Canadian game.
Yeah, man, it's kind of similar. I actually spent a couple of weeks in Massachusetts with the Pirates Indoor League in the middle of a stint I had with the Edmonton team the last time. And, I kind of found the nature of the game was kind of fun. It's not as big a field, so you kind of score a lot of touchdowns here, and that kind of drew my attention as well.
We're chatting with Jalen Marshall, wide receiver for the Tucson Sugar Skulls. Has 4 touchdowns on the season. Had one real nifty catch at the end of the game against Northern Arizona a few weeks back, one-handed in the back of the end zone by the pad. Walk me through that play.
Yeah, man, we were kind of struggling to get some things going on offense that game, and I felt we needed a spark. And it's kind of miscellaneous play. The quarterback kind of got off script, and I found a spot in the back of the end zone, and he threw up a prayer, and and I was able to answer it. The ball kind of stuck to my hand, and kind of surprised myself. And so everybody was telling me how great of a play it was, and I just can't remember thinking I just stuck my hand up in there and it stuck like glue. So it was kind of pretty good feeling for me as well, man.
We see so many guys now, Jalen, that can make one-handed catches. Do you remember the first time you did that in a game?
Yeah, it was actually Ohio State, the year of 2014, I believe. I caught a one-hander in the back of the end zone, kind of similar to the one I had there.
Chatting with Jalen Marshall, wide receiver for the Tucson Sugar Skulls. He just mentioned that he played his college ball at The Ohio State University out of Middletown, Ohio. First of all, what was that like, getting a chance to suit up in the scarlet and gray after a phenomenal high school career?
Oh man, it was a dream come true for me. Where I'm from, closer to Cincinnati, Middletown, Ohio, we're big Buckeye fans, and Urban Meyer just so happened to be hired as the head coach there in my last year of high school. And man, for me to be able to play in my home state in the scarlet and gray with Urban Meyer, it's a very surreal feeling, and to be able to win a championship at that. It's memories that will last a lifetime.
And you mentioned winning a championship on some squads where you made a contribution, 74 catches in 2 seasons, redshirted 1 year, and left after that third year in 2015. What made you make that decision to try your hat in the National Football League after just 2 college seasons versus maybe coming back? I can remember a lot of folks had said that they thought you might be the number 1 receiver if you'd come back for that 2016 season.
Yeah, at the time, man, it was just, things I was going through with my family. I think it was more situational than anything. I think we felt that, we put in some work at Ohio State. Looking back on it, I believe maybe I should have went back. I don't regret the decision I made, but, I'm able to tell those that have the chances that I did that, sometimes you can be a little bit more patient and, things might work out a little bit in your favor. So it was just, decision me and my family made that, that we went and ran with. And, it's gotten me 9 years professional. And I'm finishing my degree up at Ohio State right now.
What are you studying?
I'm studying criminal justice is my major.
And what do you want to do with that?
I want to be a police officer one day maybe and move up to about the detective and, work in that field. I also am the assistant head coach at Middletown High School. And so that degree would just help me be an administrator to those kids and work in that favor.
Jalen Marshall joining us, wide receiver for the Tucson Sugar Skulls. I mean, you played with some great names there. I mean, you talked about winning a national championship, the phenomenon that was Cardell Jones and Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield. What are your memories of playing with those guys?
Oh, man, it's phenomenal being able to some of the best players I've ever seen and got to witness in the world. I think that's a blessing in itself. People get to see things on TV and see these players make these incredible plays, but I got to witness that firsthand. And those are memories I'll take with me for a lifetime. And another reason why I did decide to leave, because everyone I was there with was leaving as well. So it was kind of like a mass exodus, and I didn't want to be left out.
That's right. I mean, I can remember after that 15 championship in early 16, everybody was on their way to bigger and better things. And again, that's sometimes you got to strike when the iron's hot. And coming off of a national championship, there were a lot of guys like you and yourself and some of your teammates that were at the forefront of conversations about the next level. So sometimes you have to take that chance. And like you said, it maybe doesn't always work out, but it's never wrong to bet on yourself. I'm sure is a message that you tell people.
Yeah, man, I've always been a firm believer in that, man. You got to take some risk and bet on yourself. And, some things, like you say, may not always work out, but that doesn't mean you give up and stop going. And that's kind of a true testament to my testimony. Things may not have went exactly the path that I wanted them to, but I ended up in the same spot as if it did. So, I'm extremely grateful for that.
Obviously, this season is not gone as you guys would have hoped to this point, 1-5. What do you want to see in the second half from this team offensively to maybe start trying to stack some W's together?
I think now that we've established, we have our quarterback back and we kind of have our core group of guys that, we hope to execute some plays out there. I think we got to just bring it all together, start playing together for one another and, focus on the little things and allow the bigger things to take care of themselves.
You mentioned that you were coaching at your high school, maybe, and you want to get into law enforcement. Is coaching, though, something that you want to continue to do?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, I'm really big into that. When I return home, I'll actually, be returning as that job and look forward to the season that we're going to have this year. And we have some top ranked guys within the state, and they have some big offers around them. And so hopefully we can put that together as a team and go win something.
What are your thoughts on Tucson? I imagine first time you really been out in this part of the country, or had you been out here before?
No, it's my first time being like living here. I can say that I haven't seen rain in 2 months. And this is the first time that I've prayed for it to rain. But other than that, it's pretty nice, man. I'm enjoying the beautiful weather and the sunshine. It's pretty nice coming from Ohio.
What's the biggest adjustment that you have to make practicing outside but playing inside?
The space of it. Outside you kind of get an unrealistic feeling of that you have all this room. But then when you get in the arena, you have the ceiling, then you have the walls, and also the lights. And so you just kind of compartmentalize that and try to stay where you are. It's pretty difficult to be to practice outside and play inside. But it kind of gives us, I don't say a disadvantage, but it kind of takes away the timing that we need for the throws and stuff. But I think we're picking it up, and I think we'll be all right going forward.
And you're not the only Buckeye on the roster. I understand there's a couple other Ohio State alums that are suiting up for the Sugar Skulls this year.
Yeah, we have Torrance Gibson, which came to Ohio State, and then we have DeMario McCall, who's also a wide receiver at Ohio State. Those guys. I think this is my first time in a while being on a team with guys that I went to college with, and it's pretty good feeling, man.
That is awesome. Well, Jalen, hey, continued success. I'm an Ohioan myself, up Cleveland side, and so I remember watching you play, and when watching that 2015 squad do your thing. So it's a pleasure to have you out here suiting up on to the Tucson Sugar Skulls, and we look for some great things as this summer goes along.
Thank you, man. I look forward to speaking with you again soon, and I really appreciate you having me on today.
Jalen Marshall, wide receiver for the Tucson Sugar Skulls. The fellas have a game coming up Saturday night down at Tucson Arena against Vegas, looking to knock Vegas off the undefeated platform in the IFL. Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the 5. She's got your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Freeway slowing on westbound I-10 between Prince Road to just as you pass Ruthroff. Stalled vehicle reported at Campbell and Irvington, and starting Sunday at around 8 p.m., road work begins on Grant Road east of Country Club, and road crews will work Sunday evenings through Thursday mornings. Again, Grant Road starting just east of Country Club, then road crews are going to move to the east to west of Swan. And for your weather, 68 the low, 99 tomorrow, 95 on Sunday, and 94 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing Equipment.
Summit Racing has the parts and accessories to keep your ride summer road trip ready. Choose from millions of parts in stock. Shop summitracing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Exclusions apply. Offer ends June 2nd, 2024.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started Wesley Financial Group to do one thing: help people get out of their timeshare nightmare. When you buy a timeshare, the timeshare company can raise your annual maintenance fees at will. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Want out of your timeshare? Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Oh, honey, it's our favorite leaf filter trusted pro, Matt. Matt, come in.
Hi, Mrs. Sparks. You wanted me to stop by? Is everything okay with your leaf filter gutter protection system?
Okay, of course, silly. We wanted you to stop by for dinner as our way of thanking you.
Yes, to thank you for that free gutter inspection, the free estimate, and what was the other thing?
That lifetime guarantee.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Sparks, those are just Leaf Filter's policies. Everyone who calls Leaf Filter gets a trusted pro to come out for a free gutter inspection and estimate. And every Leaf Filter installation comes with a lifetime guarantee.
So it's not just us?
No, sir. We don't want anyone to worry about clogged gutters ever again.
You mean everyone gets this level of service?
Everyone. They just need to visit leaffilter.com/sports to schedule their free inspection.
Okay, but you must be starving. You work so hard.
Ready to love your gutter protection as much as we do? Visit leaffilter.com/sports and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Here's a sample of what people say when they find out they can save up to 40% on their favorite tobacco products at Tobacco Barn.
Wow, that's fabulous.
That's just great.
Woo! All right, yeah. That's incredible.
That's crazy.
Actually, it's not crazy, it's smart. Why would you buy tobacco products somewhere other than Tobacco Barn and pay up to 40% more? You can save up to 40% at Tobacco Barn. It'd be crazy not to. You also pay no city or state sales tax at Tobacco Barn because they're on the reservation. And you can save up to $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Could you repeat that, sir?
At Tobacco Barn, save up to 40%. Pay no city sales tax. Pay no state sales tax. And save up to $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. If you shop somewhere else, people might say you don't know whether to scratch your watch or wind your butt.
Funny guy.
Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, we're about 10 minutes away from Arizona baseball, game 2 of a 3-game series between the Wildcats and the Oregon State Beavers. Magic number still at 1. It'll be Clark Candiotti on the hill tonight for the Arizona Wildcats. Hopefully things go better tonight than they did last night when Arizona was bludgeoned 9-2, and Chip Hale not happy about it.
I don't know. I mean, Bazan is a number 1 or 2 pick in the country. He's a hell of a hitter, and the whole lineup, they just put the ball in play. They barreled it. Like I said about our guys, we didn't put any barrels on the ball. They did. The ball's going to go here in this ballpark, and you saw a lot of balls banging off the walls.
Do you think that your pitchers pitch a little more carefully tonight for that reason?
They didn't. We didn't. Yeah, we didn't. We did not pitch. We just didn't pitch well. Like I said, there wasn't the fast of the game. I thought we did very well at all. So yeah, that was not. The walks are never going to be good.
Roger showed his speed on the error going from first to third, and 2 bunt hits, as Brian mentioned. I'm sure they're going to honor that threat now. If he can make contact, is that something that can maybe, open
it opens up. Yeah, that's why you bunt, is to try to open up and pull some people in and whack some balls by him. So yeah, I mean, we have it happen to us all the time, and I think that's maybe the one bright spot from tonight was his at bats, and seeing some of the. I thought he threw the ball to third base really well too. I don't know why we relayed it, but I thought that was a good throw too. So it was a pretty good performance by Rogers.
So you're still half a game ahead of Oregon State right now.
Right.
What was your message to the team after this one? Short memory?
Yeah, all those things. Just be ready to play. We just didn't play well, and we have a tendency at times to get panicky when things don't go well early, and then like in Utah, we did a couple times, and they really they got the ship right, and we just went on and kept playing. So hopefully that'll happen tomorrow.
With no school. Do the guys come earlier than they?
No, it's pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. We have our weights, and then they come over and they do their work. It's pretty regimented the way what all these. They have their own little programs.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Aiden May, who beat the Wildcats last night, mentioned in his post-game interview that I had with him that one of the reasons he went to Corvallis to play for the Beavers was because one of his best friends was on the team, Jacob Kometz. Well, that's who pitches tonight for Oregon State. The right-hander, Jacob Kometz, also out of Sandia High School in Albuquerque. He has lowered his ERA a full run from last year, 4.71 down to 3.65 this year. He is 5-2 on the season. This will be his 14th start of the year. Update from Fayetteville, Arizona leading Villanova Arizona softball leading Villanova 14-3. They're in the top of the fifth, 1 out, 2 on. So the Wildcats need to not let 3 runs score, and this game will end, and Arizona will move on to tomorrow and the 1-0 game. Hopefully when we come back on Monday, we are talking about Arizona in the Super Regionals, possibly against the Oregon State Beavers. Before we get out, I want to send out some high school shout-outs on the softball side. 7th seed Empire won the state title in Conference 3A last weekend. A great story. Shannon Woolbridge and his ladies. We'll have to get some of those girls on next week. They knocked off Valley Christian 10-6. To win in 3A. 4A, South Point Catholic wins again. Their 6th straight title. They beat Canyon Del Oro 11-0 in the title game. This was after winning a winner-take-all semifinal against Micah Mountain 10-1. 8th title overall for South Point Catholic. That is one shy of CDO. They have 9 softball championships. Baseball, Nogales unfortunately got knocked out by Sunrise Mountain. Canyon Del Oro came up a run short in the 4A title game. They were looking to repeat as title champs, but lose to Scottsdale Saguaro 2-1. Bisbee, champions in 2A on the baseball side with a 7-2 win over Phoenix Christian. The 3rd seed Pumas knocked out rival Benson in the semifinals. And congratulations to Hayden. They win the Class 1A baseball title. They won the 1A title in both football and baseball this year. That's going to do it for us. Thanks to all the folks we had on tonight. Cam Walty, Coleman Hodges, Dyrell Joyner, Jalen Marshall. For Cricket and JW, I'm David Kelly. Have a great weekend, everybody. It's DK on the Sports Tip. We'll talk to you on Monday. Bear down. Let's win a Pac-12 championship tonight.
I thought learning a language would be too much work,